Okay, hello viewers. As we've been doing in December, the lessons that are ongoing on my channel are HTML lessons. I've done from lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and this is the 4th lesson. You could go check out those lessons. The 3 lessons that I've done on my YouTube, they're already there. And if you're beginning the HTML chapter, if you're fresh with HTML, it's better you go and view those 3 lessons I did in this month of December. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to do lesson 4, and this is the cover photo that's going to be available for the video that is lesson 4, HTML headers, ordered lists and unordered lists. Now the lesson is going to be rotating around these 3 aspects, that is headers, ordered lists and unordered lists. Now these lessons are helping senior 4 learners of the coming year 2025 to really fit into the item 2 that they would do in their final exams, the practical exams they do in school. Now straight away I'm going to kick off with lesson 4. This is my prototype I'm going to be following in lesson 4, and this is the Word document I've done. Now my prototypes are running in Word because it's the easiest program I find to run prototypes in the HTML lessons. Now the first page is going to be a headers page, and I want to teach you about the various types of headers in HTML. This is the first page. It's going to be looking like this. The second page is going to be about ordered lists, and I'm going to be teaching you how we can design a list that is ordered in HTML. It will be running like that as an example, and I'm not saying this is the only example of a list you can make. This is just an introduction to ordered lists, and you can get yours out there and try to make it ordered just like this one here. And the last page is going to have unordered lists. I'm going to show you how we can do some unordered lists in HTML. Now straight away I'm going to be using my folder HTML lesson 4 to run my codes, and I'm going to start with the first page that is having headers in HTML. Okay, then I'm going to run my text editor, that is Notepad. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to just write a basic code, and I'm going to resort to small letters all through. Now I'm always writing the basic codes in all my videos I'm making because I want you, the beginner with HTML, to be well conversant with writing your code from scratch, so that when you get to the other text editors that are advanced, the work will be so easy for you, because we always get to the text editors that are advanced. Like I have Visual Studio Code, but I always find it easier or appropriate for a basic learner to begin with something that is from scratch, so that they get to get well conversant with the code. Otherwise, if you begin with a text editor that's going to help you design a code, or a program that's going to help you design a code, then you may not really be that much okay with coding. So it's always my belief that we should learn from scratch, so that we get to know how all the codes move along. Of course, having completed all my lessons of HTML, I'm planning to do the December month and the January month. You could be better with HTML so that you can get to the better text editors. Now the header, I can put a header as or a title as headers in HTML, so that I start doing them. Now at the end of the head tag we can have the body tag, and I decided to use small letters all through in the tags body. Okay, now this is my prototype. I'm going to be following this. This is just headers. It is a heading. Of course, I'm going to type something like headers. I just make it a heading. I could just put it in the center, and I can just put it in the center by just giving it a center tag, and I can close the center tag. Now, in the recent videos I've made videos about changing the fonts of the headings, the words, etc. You can go check out the videos of HTML. You could really learn that. Now, after creating my heading, I'm going to first save this notepad as headers. So I'm going to save it at desktop at my folder that is having HTML lesson 4, and I'm going to save it as headers.html, and then I give it all files setting here, then I save. So when I open HTML lesson 4, it's already saved, and it is right here, headers. I'm going to just right click and open it with Chrome. I always prefer using Chrome, and I've been using Chrome in all my videos. Now this is the headers page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just continue putting my content right in line with the prototype. Now this is my heading, business meaning, and I'm going to just give it a tag, heading 1, h1, then I close h1 immediately. So within the h1 tag, I'm going to type, instead of typing, I'm going to just copy this to save time, heading, and I'm going to paste it there, business meaning in brackets, and it is h1. Now we're going to see the meaning of h1. Let me first save this, and I go back to Chrome, and then I refresh. Now you see that business meaning is a heading, and it is having that big size because the biggest header in HTML is always h1. So h1 is going to be the biggest header in HTML. So if you need to create headers in HTML, it's better you use h1 as a tag, and you close h1 as well. So under h1, of course, I've closed it. I'm going to just pick this. Maybe this is the meaning of a business. I'm just writing about businesses. I just made a few research about that, and I can copy this. Then I take it to this. Then I paste. Okay. After pasting, I'm going to save and then go back to Chrome, and I refresh. This is what is going to happen in Chrome. Yes, I'm going to go back to my prototype. Then I go to, now the second heading is sole proprietorship, and this is a type of a business, I guess so. So I'm going to copy this, and then I go back to my notepad. I create a second type of heading. It is h2. They run in numbers. I close h2 as well, and then I paste sole proprietorship in the h2 tag. Of course, I'm going to hit enter key, then I get to the empty space, then I paste maybe the meaning of a sole proprietorship. That's it is an unincorporated business entity owned and operated by a single individual. Its main advantage lies in its simplicity. Maybe it's a business that is run by a single person. I can copy that, then back to my notepad. I can paste it there, then I can save. I see how my Chrome is going to behave. That is it. Now you see that h1 was business meaning, h2 sole proprietorship. Now you should see the difference between the two headings, because you see heading 1 is so big as compared to heading 2. Now back to my Chrome, I'm going to, of course, create another type of heading. They run in numbers from the highest to lowest. Now h3 is another type of heading. So I'm going to just go to my prototype. I copy this, then I go and paste it at h3, and then it is general partnership as a type of business. So I want to just copy this information here, maybe the meaning of general partnership. Then I go back to Notepad and I paste it there. Then I save, and then I see how Chrome is going to behave. Now you see the headings are reducing in increase with the numbers. The biggest was H1, business meaning. The second biggest was H2, sole proprietorship, and the next is general partnership. Now I'm going to head to H4, heading 4. So I'm going to create another tag that is called H4, and then I close it there, and then H4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my prototype. I copy this. It's the heading for H3, limited partnership. Then I just paste, and I could pick the meaning of it like this. Copy, back to Notepad, I paste. Now if you're not able to copy and paste, you could maybe pause the video and write something down and put it there in your text editor as well. Or if you can even get some other example of what you can write about apart from businesses. So I can save this, and then I go to Chrome, and then I run. So this is what's going to happen. You see limited partnership, as in the size of the headings are really reducing. Next up, if you're really with me in the video, you know that I'm getting to H5 because H4 was done. H5 is the second last heading. So H5 is going to have a heading that is C corporation as a type of business. So I can paste it there, and then I copy the meaning of C corporation. I can copy this, and then I put it here. I can save. I could just even put the last category of a heading, that is H6, and then I can close H6 as well. Now H6, it had S corporation as the last category of a heading we can make. It was H6, and that is S corporation. So I've pasted it there, and I'm going to just put its meaning right here. So after copying it, I can paste it there, then I save, then back to Chrome, I can run. So you see the various categories of headings I can have in my HTML. Now HTML, we note that it has 6 categories of headings. You see they're running from business, meaning the heading was big, and when I got here it kind of reduced. Then this H3 is this, then H4, H5, and the last one is H6, this one here. Now those are the types of headers in HTML, and they are always used in a page, maybe to run the various categories of headers, and learners out there could use them in a paper where need be, and they could be so helpful to you. Now according to the prototype, this is the first page we can create. Now my heading, the major heading, is not in line with this one, but I did a video about size, color, underline, bigger headings. You can check the video 3 at my channel of Marvin Kasozi HTML. I think it was lesson 3. You can check it, and then you see how we can edit the videos. And if you've been moving along with me, you can really edit that video. Then boom, to the second page, ordered lists page. Now I can close this, and then I could leave this open because I still need it, and I can just go to Chrome. I load another Notepad text editor, then I just run my basic codes HTML, then I put a head tag, a head tag, I close the head tag, and then within the head tag I put the title tag, and in the title tag you can put ordered lists, and then here I can introduce the body tag so that I can start typing within the body tag. Now if you don't want to create anything like a basic code, you can just copy this and then you just open a new notepad and then you just paste it there to have your basic code. And I did that, I think, in a video that was about it was about links. I was copying the basic code 2 times to have 2 pages so that you avoid retyping the basic code. But if you're not yet okay with the basic code, you can type it as many times as you can to perfect it. Okay, back to the prototype. The prototype has a heading, ordered lists page, and then even in my page I can type ordered lists page, and I can maybe center it to show that it is my title. Same applies to this. I can close the center tag to put it in the center. Then even anyway, let me first save this into my folder I'm using. It is a desktop and it is called HTML lesson 4. I can rename it ordered lists.html. then under this I select all files, then I save it. Now let me first open it. I see how it behaves. This is it. My heading is already there. It is ordered lists. Back to the prototype. Now I'm going to create an ordered list in HTML. Now an ordered list, of course, just like the term ordered lists, items are listed but they have order. The order means the items are listed, they have a number, that is 1. They can have a Roman numeral, they can have a letter, capital letter, they can have a small letter. That is the meaning of ordered lists. Unlike the other type of list that is called unordered, where there are nothing like numbers, letters, Romans. We shall see this as the last result of the tutorial. But as of now, let us first focus on ordered lists. Now I'm going to create an ordered list in this second page, and we're going to see how ordered lists always move in HTML. Now if I'm creating an ordered list, back to my notepad here, if I'm creating an ordered list, I should mind about 1, the number that is listed. Now I already created ordered lists. I'm going to create the ICT grounds. So back to my page, I can create the ICT grounds, and of course it's broken to the next line. That's why I'm putting a BR tag. Okay, now if I look at what is running in my Chrome, I'm at ICT grounds and I'm supposed to be heading to the number 1, that is hardware. Now if I want to create the number 1, that is hardware, I want to communicate to my system that you see, I want a list, but it should be starting with a 1. If you look at hardware, it is starting at a 1 and it is in form of a list. I'm going to just simply open the tags, then I type OL type is equal to OL start is equal to, I put number 1. Now I remove the type because a type doesn't work with numbers. It is a start that works with numbers. So I've displayed that OL start is equal to 1. OL means ordered list start is equal to 1. You're like, yo, ordered list start at 1, because even here it is a number 1 that is starting. That's why I'm typing OL start is equal to 1. After typing is equal to 1, I'm going to just go to the next line. I type li. Li means list. List is hardware. You're communicating to the system that OL start is equal to 1 and the list is hardware. What to list is hardware. Then I'm going to just save. I go to Chrome, then I refresh. You see that it is hardware that is listed as number 1 because I've specified that OL start is equal to 1. Ordered list start at 1 and the list is hardware. Back to the prototype, we're heading to the Romans now. I talked of ordered lists. They always have Romans, they have numbers, they have letters. And in my example, I'm trying to mix them up. You see, I'm mixing numbers, Romans, I'm putting letters, back to Romans, then numbers, so that we can get to see how the ordered list is going to run in HTML. So I'm heading to input, and input is a Roman I. Back to my text editor. Now after typing that list is equal to hardware, I'm done with numbers. I'm now heading to Romans. If I'm heading to Romans, I'm going to just go to the next line, then I type OL type is equal to, now you see that the language is now changing. The first one was start. The next one is now type. Start works with numbers. Start 1. Now this one is OL type is equal to Roman numeral I. Roman numeral I means you're communicating to the system that you know what, start listing in the form of Romans, and the system can pick it if there's nothing like a mistake, and it's going to also list in Romans. So I've put OL type is equal to Roman I, and of course I want to give it a list. List, what is the list? I want to list input. I'm listing input because even here in my prototype it is input listed. So I've listed input and I'm going to first save. I see how my page is going to behave. Okay, that is correct. You note the position of the Romans and the numbers. You see the Roman numeral I is getting in front because even in my text editor, I just went to another type of OL. Another type of OL is equal to I. So that's why it is also getting in front, because here I went to another OL type. It's getting in front the inputs. Now you see, we are still getting in front. We are now getting to mouse as another ordered list, but this one is having another type of letters. These ones are not Romans now, these ones are letters, and you're getting in front. So back to my text editor, I'm heading to letters now. Of course, when you're heading to another type of ordered list, you're going to get to OL type is equal to, in quotes, is equal to, I put letter A. Now I'm going with OL type is equal to letter A because even here it is letter A that is next up and we're just getting in front. So you just have to introduce another OL type is equal to A, and then you just list, and the first list is mouse, the second list is keyboard. So I'm going to just save, and then I go to my Chrome. I see how my machine is going to behave. Yes, that is it. I'm still getting in front because in my text editor I just listed OL type is equal to A, then I listed 1, 2. That's why I'm getting in front. Now this is it with ordered lists. Now what is confusing with these lists is what happens when you're getting in front, like what I've been doing. Whenever you're getting in front, like I was getting in front at, you see I started at hardware, it was 1, and it was having a start 1 hardware. So when I just went to another OL type here with a Roman, and then I listed input, I got in front. when I went to another OL type, that is A, I listed 2 items, I continued to get in front. Now what happens when I'm now pushing behind? Because I want to get to the second Roman numeral, like I, it should be in line with the I here. So what happens when I'm getting behind is this. Now please get to note this, if you could forget that when I'm getting behind, because I've been getting in front, but now I'm getting behind, and it is output, it's having a Roman numeral 2. Now when I'm getting behind, what I'm going to just do is I'm going to just close the OL type. I've closed OL. Now what happens when you close the OL? When you close the OL, I'm closing the OL after keyboard. You see, even here after keyboard, I get a step behind. So that's why I'm also closing OL once, so that after closing OL once, I can list a category that is output, because it is output here. Now let me see whether my computer is going to pick this. I save, then I go to Chrome, I run. You see, when I run this, output is now listed as Roman numeral 2, and it is in line with input. Why? Because I closed OL here and I just listed output, and of course the machine knows when I close one step back, it's going to go back to the first Roman numeral, and this one is going to be the second Roman numeral. It was not only output, according to this, it was output and storage, I guess so. So I want to just put another list that is LI, and it is storage. Storage, I save, I see how my machine is going to behave. Yes, that is it. Storage is now listed, and it is at least in line with the first Roman numeral according to what I had done. Back to the prototype. After storage, we have a number 2, and a number 2, you see, a number 2 is in line with the number 1, and according to my code here, I'm heading to number 2, and number 2 is software. Now back to my code. I want to get to the number 2, it is software, and remember, number 2 should be in line with the number 1. Of course, if I just go to a list and then I type something like software, then I save, and then I refresh, it's going to be listed as number 4, because you're still in line with these 2 listed items. You're still in line with them. That's why it's pushing you to the Roman numeral 4. Now to avoid that, remember, you're going to number 2, and number 2 should be in line with number 1, and at least that is one step back. It is one step back. So I'm going to just close OL at least once, then I list software. I list software, and then I see what happens. Now if I close OL once, then I list software, I'm going to be pushed to number 2, and it is software. Now if I look at my prototype, number 2 has just 2 Roman numerals, and they are in front. Now the trick between the trick in ordered lists is what do you do when you're getting a step back? You close the OL, and it depends on how you're closing the OL. I'm closing the OL once at software because I wanted to get one step back. I was at Roman numeral 3, and it is one step back that takes me to number 1, in line with number 1. That is why I also closed OL once. Now if you want to get in front, because those are the tricks in ordered lists, if you want to get in front, you just introduce OL type. If you want to get back, you close the OL. If you want to get in front, like the step I'm getting to, the step of application and operating systems, I just introduce OL type. Now back to my code. I I want to get a step in front, because under software there are two categories and they're just in front. So I want to just also introduce OL type. We only use start at numbers. OL type, I'm going to put Roman numeral I, and that is small. Then I just list. List is application, and another list is operating system, and then I save. Now I've introduced another OL type is equal to I, and then I've listed two items. And when I save and then I go at my Chrome, I refresh, you see the two categories are being listed in front of the software. And the very last part of this is the number 3, that is network. You see network is number 3, and it is not in line with the Roman numeral 2. If you make a mistake of just listing, for example, make a mistake of listing network and then I save, you see what happens with Chrome when I refresh. It's going to list it as number 3 because you've not specified on what you want. You want to get to the number 3 and it is a step behind. I want to get a step behind. What do I do when I want to get a step behind? I want to just close OL once. Now some people could even get 2 steps behind. So there you can close OL 2 times. But as of now, I'm closing OL once. Then I put my list. It is network, and maybe I can give it capital letters to match the 2 that were already there. So if I refresh, network is listed and it is in line with the numbers that I've had already. Pan LAN 1, they are listed in Romans. Pan LAN 1. So if you've been with me, you know that I'm going to just introduce OL type is equal to, in quotes, I put I, then after putting I put a list pan. I think the first list was pan, then the next list was LAN, then the next list was 1. I save, then I go back to my Chrome and they're going to be listed like such. Now note that there are a lot of examples you can use with ordered lists, not only this one in the tutorial. Whichever example you can get, you can try and see whether you can also list some categories in HTML using the ordered list. But according to my prototype, this is it with ordered lists. Okay, the last part of the video is unordered lists, and I can close my ordered lists so that I remain with unordered lists. I start from this, then this, then I'm getting to unordered lists. Okay, now unordered list is the opposite of ordered. You know, ordered, you saw that ordered was having numbers, letters, Romans, and for unordered, they don't have anything like numbers, they don't have anything like letters, they don't have anything like Romans, because they're just unordered. If something is unordered, it means items are just listed with maybe bullets, but without numbers to specify them, or letters to specify them, or Romans to specify them. The only common issue with unordered and ordered, of course, are the steps. At home page and links page, here as an example, these ones are on the same line, but these ones are not on the same line as these ones on top. And you see news sites is on a different line, even this one is on a different line. Same applies to this, and then this. It's just the steps that's the two share. Now if I want to run my unordered lists, what do I do? If I want to run my unordered lists, I'm going to do this. Of course, I'm going to first open Notepad as my text editor, then I run my basic code HTML, and I run HTML again, and inside HTML I can run head. Same applies to the head that is closed, and the title closed like that. Then I can rename this unordered lists. Then here I can put the body tag. Same applies to this body tag. Okay, body tag, and I can start doing my unordered lists. According to my prototype, it had a heading. Let me ignore this one here. I can go with this one, unordered lists. So I can put my title unordered lists, and what I can do with my headings is giving them a center tag to just make them uniform. Center. Okay, so that is my basic code, and I want to just straight away go to unordered lists. So I can save this under save as, then I give it a desktop location, then I look for HTML lesson 4, and here I can type unordered. Mind the spelling, unordered lists .html. Then under save as, I put all files, then I just save. So let me just go to my folder I'm using so that I open it with Chrome. I see what happens. I started from this at the first page, this was the second page, and this is the third page. Well, this is my prototype I'm following, and I'm going to start with home page and links page. Now, like I said, unordered lists, they don't have numbers, they don't have letters, they don't have Romans. What they have, maybe it could be bullets to just separate them, to differentiate between them, etc. And according to my example there, it's home page that is running as the first list. Now it is home page listed, and I want to just do this in my code. I want to just go to the body tag. I put UL means unordered list, and then after putting a UL, that means unordered list, I want to just put a list, and then I rename it according to my prototype. I'm starting with home page, so I want to just type home page. Now let me first run this. I see what happens at my Chrome. When I run this, my Chrome is going to list home page, and it is unordered because it is having nothing like a number, nothing like a Roman, nothing like a letter. It's just having a bullet. It is unordered. Back to my prototype and my text editor, I'm heading to links page. Links page is just, links page is another list, so I want to just put list li, and then I type links page. I save, and back to my Chrome, you see there's another list that is called links page. Back to my prototype. After links page, I'm heading to another category of unordered, but it is on another line, but the line is just in front of home page and links page. Now what happens when I want to go to something in front, like links to search engine, links to information sites? Those two are in front of home page and links page. So if I want to put them in front of home page and links page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to my text editor, then I just put a UL. After putting a UL, I'm going to just list the two. The first one was links. Is it links to search engines? Yes, it is links to search engines. And another list is links to information sites. I save this. Now there is a reason as to why I've used this tag UL at the end of links page. So I've put that tag UL, it means unordered lists, at the end of links page because I want links to search engine to be on another line in front of links page. Now let me first save this. I see how my search engine is going to behave. You see, links to search engine and links to information sites are pushed in front of links page, and that is why I put this tag at the end of links page, because I wanted these two lists to be pushed in front. Now back to my prototype, there's another tag, actually there's another list, news sites, and it was also pushed in front. Now unordered lists are just easy. If you want to push something in front, what you do is you just bring some other unordered list and you just list something you want. I want is it news sites? I'm heading to news sites. Oh yes, it is news sites. Then I just save and then I refresh in my search engine. So I want to get in front. So whenever you want to get in front, you just use the UL tag. It's going to help the user get in front. After news sites, there is even TV Best. TV Best is also in front. TV Best is a line in front of news sites. Of course, you just use another UL to show that, you know what, I want to get to a line in front, and this line is listed as TV Best. Save and then use Chrome and see whether things are working out, and of course they are. After TV Best, of course, according to my prototype, I'm heading to CNN and BBC as the two lists, and they are in front. The list continues to go in front. Maybe it's going to get back at text best, but this is still in front. That is CNN and BBC. That's why I'm also putting a UL, and I'm going to list the first one as CNN and the second one as BBC. Save and use Chrome to refresh so that you put CNN and BBC in front. According to the prototype, you see I'm now getting a step behind, that is TV Best. It is just one step behind and it is in line with TV Best. This is now text best, sorry, it is text best. It is a step behind BBC and it is in line with TV Best. So if you want to get a step behind in an ordered list, what do you do? If you want to get a step behind in an ordered list at BBC, I just have to use a /UL and you list what you want. I list that it is text best. Note, if you want to get a step behind like TV Best, it is not in front but it is getting behind. It is in line with this, one step behind, because I was at BBC and I just want to push one step behind. That's why I'm also closing the UL tag. Note that we have not been closing because we have been getting in front with the ULs. But if I want to get behind with the ULs, we're going to close the UL tag, unordered list tag. So I can save this and then I go back to my Chrome, I refresh, you see TV Best is pushed behind, and if I want to get in front, you see TV Best is pushed behind, but I want to get in front. There is New York Times and Washington Post as an example of text based, I think. So if I want to get in front, because whenever we are getting in front, we are not closing the UL. Whenever we are getting in front, what we do is we just use the UL, and after using the UL, we just list what we want. We want New York Times, and another list is Washington Post. Is it Post? Yes, Washington Post. New York Times and Washington Post, they're just in front. That's why I'm also using the UL tag, because it has been the tag we've been using to get in front. If I save and then I refresh, you see I get in front. But according to the prototype, after getting in front, of course there is stock sites, and stock sites is getting behind. But you know what, things are now changing to 2 levels. We are around Washington Post, but it's pushed 2 levels back. One level is just here, and another level is just here. I hope you could see the mouse movement I'm using. One level is just here, another level, actually we're at Washington Post, one level is here and another level is here. So I want to push behind stock sites. Back to my text editor, if I want to push behind, that is stock sites, what I'm going to do, you see I was at Washington Post, I'm going to just close the UL 2 times because I want to push 2 steps back. That is why I also close it 2 times, and I just list what I want. I want to list stock sites, and then I save. I see how my Chrome is going to behave, and indeed it is doing what I want. It is in line with news sites. It is 1 step and 2 steps behind, in line with news sites, because even here in my prototype it is just in line with news sites. Now there is links to fun site. This one is just pushed 1 step back, so you also close just one UL. You just close it once and then you list what you want. I want to list something called links to fun sites, and then I save. I see how my Chrome is going to behave. Yes, that is it. Now etc. You see that at links to fun site, it is pushed back and it is in line with links to information sites. So even here in my Chrome, it's in line with links to information sites, and it is really here. Now if you've been with me, you see there are now 3 lists, but they're just pushed back 1 step. Feed, back page, contact page, HTML example page. They just pushed 1 step behind, and they're sharing the same bullets. They're just pushed to these steps we started from, but according to our level, they just pushed just 1 step behind according to links fun site. Of course, if you want to push them 1 step behind, you just close the UL type once, and then you list what you want. List 1, I want it to be feedback page. List 2, another list, I want it to be contact page. And list 3, another type of list, I want it to be HTML example page. Blah blah blah. There are 3, and if I save this, then I go to my Chrome, I refresh, it is doing what I want. Now that is how we can play around with the unordered lists. Please, if you're finding challenges in the tutorial, you could pause and see what I'm really doing in whatever I do, because each and every mistake you make with UL, the closing, the getting in front, the getting back, it could be kind of tricky. But if you're in line with the tutorial, you pause and see what I do, things could be easier. And please, it's a matter of practicing. Watch the videos I'm uploading, practice along with them. You could be better with HTML as well. Now back to my prototype. I was at HTML. I think it's HTML example page, something like that. HTML example page. And HTML example page, it's what I'm at, and it seems in the prototype there are numbers as another list, because numbers are still in line with the example page. So if it is in line, I just put li, then I give it numbers. It's about numbers. So the 1, 2, it's now getting in front. So if I'm getting in front, I just type a ul, then I put list, I put 1 list, I put 2 list, I put 3. Yes. Now after 3, you see letters is now pushed back. And if I want to push back, I've been saying you close ul once, because even this one is pushed back once. So you close ul once. After closing ul once, just list what you want. I want letters, etc, etc, and someone just listed some of the letters there. If I want letters and they're just in front, I want to just put a ul that takes me in front. Then I list some letters like li is a, li is b, and li is c as the very last category. I can list. Save. Then if I run my Chrome, this is it with the unordered list. Now these are the pages I've been doing. I started from the headers page, from the ordered lists page, and the unordered lists page, because according to the video tutorial, this video has been about HTML headers, ordered lists, and unordered lists. Now that is it for the tutorial, because it is supposed to be running along HTML headers, ordered lists, and unordered lists, and it's what I've been doing exactly in the video tutorial. And this is what I can display as my output. This is the headers page HTML, and this is ordered lists HTML, and now this is unordered list HTML. So I can close all these, and then I remain with them in my folder so that we can call it a video. I can close the prototype because I've created the prototype successfully, and this has been lesson 4 of HTML, and the video is going to be there on the 23rd of December 2024. Merry Christmas, my viewers. I'm recording this video towards Christmas because I promised that December is a month of HTML, and indeed it is a month of HTML. More videos of HTML are coming up to when you complete all the chapters of HTML. I'm quite sure that video 5 is soon here. In a week I'm going to be making video 5 of HTML. Video 4 has been made already in this video tutorial. So we await for video 5. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the views, the comments, subscribers. Thank you all. More videos to come, more content to come. You can inbox me about some of the videos I could do at the beginning of 2025 as a new year. Okay, this has been all for the video, and a nice time.